These are Stewart phonographs. They were introduced in 1916 in Chicago, and they were really quite successful because they sort of hit a niche in the market. They were a small size, just a little bit bigger than the record themselves. They were very sturdy, very reliable, and they were loud. When I play this one, you're going to notice it's quite loud. As you can see, it came in gold, and this is a wood grain finish, and they came in a couple of other colors, I believe green and cream. So they were a big seller for a very short time. And what was nice is they could play horizontal groove records, like the regular RCA Victor type records. They could also play Path A type records, but you'd need a sapphire instead of a needle, and you'd have to rotate this around. And I don't want to force it because it looks like it's stuck there. And I've never done it because these things have one weakness. These tone arms tend to break. And that's a real problem because you'll never find parts for these, which is unfortunate. This company was, as I said, in Chicago, but they opened up a plant in Canada, or actually the plant was opened by W.H. Banfield and Sons Limited to manufacture these in Toronto, Canada. And that's where these two come from. In fact, they were quite successful here. And in 1920, Banfield, the company, purchased the U.S. company, or the U.S. plant, and decided to move all the production up to Canada. In 1922, as a result, the company in the States sort of went under, but the Canadian one continued on for a short while after that. They actually may have introduced a few Canadian-only models, but I haven't seen one of those, so I don't have much information on that. But for a single spring machine, these are quite nice. So why don't we bring you in and take a good look at this machine. There's the ID plate. You can see it was made in Canada. I think it says Toronto there. Yep, my hometown. Fortunately, the felt has been replaced. Oh, I hate the look of new felt. Really doesn't work for me. You can see the finish is quite neat. I mean, faux wood grain. There's a reproducer. It's a large diaphragm reproducer, which will explain why it's so loud. And then in there's a motor, and it seems to be a pretty good motor because it works really well, and it's quite quiet. There's the gold one in its case, and you can see there's a spot here for records. Just that flap comes forward, and you can put records. So this would be good for a picnic. These were also sold as something for the cottage, which was probably where they would be very useful. It's a nice case too. Okay, let's hear one. Now before I play it, I've got to wind it up, and that's a little tricky since I'm holding the camera with one hand. But this, you'll notice, it may not be hard to see, but you can't wind it on a table because this would hit the table. So you got to pull it away from the table and then wind it. So I'll do that, and then we'll hear it, okay? There's an on-off lever back there. And hear how quiet that motor is. And when you wind it, it's quiet. So I think you agree, sounds pretty good. The motor's extremely quiet.